My name is Alex, and I used to believe that love meant fighting for someone. I was wrong about all of that. My girlfriend Maya and I had been together for 2 years. We lived together in my downtown apartment, shared Netflix passwords, talked about getting a dog, normal couple stuff, or so I thought. For the past month, Maya had been acting strange. Distant phone calls she'd take in the other room, sudden girls' nights that went way later than usual. Checking her phone constantly, then quickly putting it face down when I walked by. "Is everything okay?" I'd ask. "Of course! Why wouldn't it be?" But her smile never reached her eyes anymore. Then came the Tuesday that changed everything. I was making dinner when Maya walked into the kitchen looking nervous. She had that expression people get when they're about to deliver bad news, but want to appear casual about it. "Alex, we need to talk." I turned off the stove. Nothing good ever followed those words. "I've been thinking a lot lately," she said, not meeting my eyes. "About us. About where I am in my life. Okay, I think I need some space. Just for a while. To figure things out." The words hit me like a punch to the stomach, but I kept my face neutral. "What kind of space?" "No contact for a while. I just need time to think about what I want. About who I am when I'm not in a relationship." "How long is a while?" "I don't know, a few weeks, maybe a month." "And during this time we're what? Broken up? On a break?" "We're just taking time apart. Please don't make this harder than it needs to be." "I understand. Take all the time you need." Her face showed surprise, then relief. "Really? You're not going to argue?" "If you need space, then you need space. I respect that." "Thank you for being so understanding. I knew you'd get it." She kissed my cheek, a patronizing little peck that felt like being dismissed. "I'll pack some things and stay at Emma's for now." Emma was her best friend since college. The same Emma who'd never liked me, who'd always whispered in Maya's ear about how she could do better. Maya packed a bag with obvious care, taking only the essentials. Everything else, her books, her plants, her half of our shared life, stayed behind, like she was planning to come back soon. "I'll call you when I'm ready," she said at the door. "Take care of yourself, Maya." She left, and I sat in the sudden silence of our apartment. The dinner I'd been making was still half finished on the stove. Her coffee mug was still in the sink from that morning. Most guys would have been blowing up her phone within hours, sending texts about how much they missed her, showing up wherever she was staying. I did none of that. If Maya wanted space, I was going to give her exactly what she asked for. I went to work the next day like nothing had happened. Colleagues asked about Maya. We'd been together long enough that our lives were intertwined socially. I just said she was visiting family. No drama, no explanations, no pity party. The first day of space passed quietly. No texts from Maya, which was exactly what she'd requested. I ordered takeout, watched a movie, went to bed early. Day 2 was when things got interesting. I was scrolling Instagram during my lunch break when I saw it. Emma's story, posted 3 hours earlier. "Weekend escape with my favorite people?" The first photo showed Emma and 2 other girls I didn't recognize, posing on what looked like a resort balcony. Typical girls' trip content. I almost scrolled past it. Then I saw the second photo. Maya was in the background, knee-deep in ocean water, laughing with her head thrown back. She looked happy, carefree, like someone who definitely wasn't struggling with deep thoughts about her relationship. But it was the third photo that made everything clear. Maya and a guy I recognized immediately. Jason, her ex-boyfriend from college. The same Jason she'd dated for 3 years before we met. The same Jason she'd told me was in the past and meant nothing anymore. His arms were around her waist. She was pressed against his chest, both of them in swimwear, both grinning like they were sharing the world's best secret. The caption read, "Some people never change chakra old friends takturcher beach vibes." I stared at the photo for a long moment, taking in every detail. Maya's hand on Jason's chest, the way she was looking at him, the pure joy on her face, an expression I hadn't seen in months when she looked at me. My first instinct was to screenshot it, then text her demanding an explanation, then drive to wherever this beach was and confront them both. Instead, I put my phone away and finished my lunch. Maya wanted space to figure things out. Apparently, part of that process involved reconnecting with her ex-boyfriend on a romantic beach getaway while lying to me about needing time alone. The picture became crystal clear. This wasn't about space. This was about wanting to explore other options while keeping me as a backup plan. Well, she was about to learn that I don't do backup plans. I left work early that day and went home to our apartment. My apartment now, I supposed. Maya's things were everywhere. Her books on the shelves, her photos on the walls, her plants by the windows, her clothes in the closet. For 2 years, our lives had been completely intertwined. Now I was going to untangle them. I started with her clothes, everything folded neatly into boxes. Her books, her decorations, her kitchen gadgets, her bathroom products, everything that belonged to her went into careful piles. I wasn't angry. I wasn't vindictive. I was just efficient. While I packed, I thought about how she'd probably planned this whole thing. The space request was cover for testing the waters with Jason. If it worked out, she'd come back and tell me she'd realized we weren't right for each other. If it didn't, she'd return and I'd welcome her back like a grateful puppy. Either way, she expected me to wait around like a loyal dog. By evening, I had 6 boxes of her belongings ready to go. I drove them to her parents' house. They lived about 20 minutes away in the suburbs. Maya's mom answered the door, looking surprised to see me. "Alex, what are you doing here? Maya said you two were taking some time apart." "Hi, Mrs. Chen. I'm just returning Maya's things. I thought she might want them." Her face fell slightly. "Oh, that sounds rather final." Maya asked for space, and I want to respect that completely. I carried the boxes to their front porch. Mrs. Chen helped, though she looked confused and sad. "Alex, dear, are you sure this is necessary? Maybe you two just need to talk." I think Maya has all the information she needs to make her decision. I left a polite note on top of the boxes. "Maya, returning what's not mine anymore. Hope you find what you're looking for. Alex." Then I drove home and began phase 2. I logged into Facebook and changed my relationship status from in a relationship with Maya Chen to single. No explanation, no dramatic post, just a quiet update. Then Instagram. Deleted every photo of us together. Not angrily, not dramatically. Just cleanly erased 2 years of documented relationship history. Finally, I blocked Maya's number and all her social media accounts. If she wanted space, she was going to get complete, permanent space. By 10 p.m., it was done. Every trace of Maya's presence in my life had been systematically removed. I poured myself a whiskey and sat on my couch. Not our couch anymore, just mine. For the first time in weeks, I felt at peace. My phone started ringing at 11:47 p.m. Unknown number. I let it go to voicemail. Then another call, another unknown number. Then text messages started flooding in from numbers I didn't recognize. "Alex, it's Maya. Please call me back." "I can explain everything. It's not what it looks like." "Please don't do this. We need to talk." "I got your note. This is crazy. You're overreacting." I turned my phone to silent and went to bed. The next morning, there were 17 missed calls and 23 text messages. Maya had apparently enlisted her friends to contact me since I'd blocked her directly. Emma had texted me, "You're being childish. Maya cares about you." Other mutual friends were sending variations of, "Maya is freaking out. Please call her." I deleted them all without responding. At work, my assistant mentioned that someone had called the office asking for me. "A woman named Maya?" She sounded upset. "Should I put her through next time?" "No, thank you. If she calls again, just take a message." Around noon, Mrs. Chen called my personal number. "Alex, dear, Maya is quite distraught. She's been crying all morning. Whatever happened between you two, don't you think you could work it out?" "Mrs. Chen, I appreciate your concern, but Maya asked for space to figure things out. I'm just giving her exactly what she requested." "But she says you blocked her, and you returned all her things. That seems rather extreme." "Did she mention where she spent the weekend?" Silence. "I thought not." "Mrs. Chen, Maya is an adult who made adult choices. I'm just responding accordingly." "She said it was a misunderstanding, that she was just visiting old friends." "I'm sure that's one way to describe it." More silence. "Alex, you've always been such a reasonable young man. Please don't let pride ruin something good. It's not pride, Mrs. Chen, it's self-respect. There's a difference. By day 3, Maya had apparently figured out where I worked. She showed up in my office lobby at 5 p.m., looking like she hadn't slept in days. Security called my extension. Mr. Rodriguez, there's a young woman here who says she needs to speak with you urgently. Should I send her up? No, thank you. Please ask her to leave. She says it's about a family emergency. I almost smiled. Maya was nothing if not creative. Tell her I said there's no emergency that requires my attention. 20 minutes later, she was gone. That evening, she must have recruited bigger guns because Maya's father called me. Alex, this is David Chen. I think there's been some kind of misunderstanding between you and my daughter. Mr. Chen had always liked me. We'd watched football together, talked about business, shared the occasional beer. He was a good man, which made this conversation particularly unpleasant. Hello, Mr. Chen. I appreciate you calling, but there's no misunderstanding. Maya says you've cut off all contact because you saw some photos from her weekend trip. She says it was innocent, just old friends catching up. Did she show you the photos? Pause. Well, no, but... Mr. Chen, you raised a smart daughter. She knows exactly what those photos showed, and she knows exactly how I would interpret them. Even if there was some impropriety, don't you think people deserve second chances? Of course they do, with someone else. Alex, you're being very harsh. I'm being clear. Maya asked for space to figure out what she wanted. She figured it out. So did I. She's heartbroken. She's embarrassed. There's a difference. On Friday evening, exactly 1 week after Maya had asked for space, I came home to find her sitting on the steps outside my apartment building. She looked terrible. Hair unwashed, eyes red from crying, wearing sweatpants and one of my old hoodies that she must have missed when packing. Maya. Alex, please, just let me explain. There's nothing to explain. Yes, there is. I made a mistake. A stupid, terrible mistake. I sat down on the step next to her but kept distance between us. What mistake was that? Going on that trip, being with Jason, all of it. So you admit you lied to me. I didn't lie, I didn't tell you everything. Maya, you asked for space to think about our relationship. Then you immediately went on a romantic getaway with your ex-boyfriend. How is that not lying? Tears were streaming down her face now. It wasn't romantic. We were just talking about old times. Talking, with his arms around your waist in the ocean. That was just a photo. It didn't mean anything. Everything means something, Maya. That's what you never understood about me. Please, Alex, I know I screwed up. I know I hurt you, but we can fix this. No, we can't. Why not? People work through things like this all the time. Because you didn't just cheat on me. You manipulated me. You asked for space under false pretenses so you could test drive your ex-boyfriend without feeling guilty about it. That's not... And when I gave you exactly what you asked for, complete space, you panicked. Not because you missed me, but because you lost control of the situation. She was sobbing now. I do miss you. I love you. You love the security I provided. You love having someone reliable to come back to when your adventures don't work out. But you don't love me enough to be honest with me. I'll be honest from now on. I'll tell you everything. Maya, if I have to ask you to be honest with me, then honesty isn't something you value. It's just something you're willing to perform when you get caught. I stood up. You wanted space to figure out what you wanted. You figured it out. You wanted Jason. But Jason didn't want you back the way you hoped, so now you want to return to your backup plan. That's not true, isn't it? When did you realize you'd made a mistake? When Jason made it clear this was just a fling? When you saw that I'd actually moved on? When your safety net disappeared? She couldn't answer. Maya, you taught me something important this week. You taught me the difference between loving someone and respecting yourself. What does that mean? It means I loved you enough to let you go when you asked, but I respect myself too much to take you back. I never saw Maya again after that night, after that night, after that night, after that night, after that night.